Very simple interface. So file commands up here, undo and so on. Help on the right hand side, navigating objects where you can turn things on and off, which I'd shown here before. And if I go on here, this is actually the other choices for in the view, which are things like changing the time of day, viewing it from a different position. Let me just roll back a bit. Then other things would be, really this is kind of the sequence from top to bottom of what we're going to do to manage the model. So I just want to show the first thing. I'm using the shift and scroll button just to turn it. There are backgrounds that you can have, but what you'll see is that in the foreground I've got this object that was listed up here as being like the starting ground. That was something I could turn on and off. So I can turn it off, and then I'm looking at my my model. First thing I want you to see is there is a picker, material picker. So see if I can pick something that's like a grass, and I can drag and drop materials onto my model. So I could add grass to whatever I wanted to by just dragging and dropping. If I look at the materials that came in, the Revit materials, I may want to use some of the Twinmotion materials. So if I went under glass, you would see I get a preview of what the different glasses look like. Reflective, let me scroll down a little bit. Stripe pattern, so I'm getting pattern glasses there. I'm just going to pick the two-sided glass, and I'm just dragging it off, and I'm just dropping it onto my model on top of the Revit glass to make it transparent like that. Easy as that. The properties of the glass are here. So you see I could make, this is like a slider, that if this is my glass, I could make it more opaque or less opaque. And then I've got next thing I want to show, that's materials, kind of simply put, but here on this library, if I go all the way up, I've got a vegetation, for example. So you see if I select on vegetation, these are families, but maybe not quite as you know them. So if I pick trees, and if I go down here and I pick something that I want, let's say an American beach, I can drag it into my project, and you see that I'm getting the form that I want. I'm going to place just a couple of them. These are large trees. I'm going to place one there, and the reason I'm doing this is to show you that there's actually if I place another one, you see it's not the same. Each one is unique. Right, and you see this sizing is I can make them bigger or smaller. Season says automatic, but if I wanted to, I could say show it in the winter, so I can have different. I'm going to set the properties back to where it does say automatic. These will change according to the season when we change seasons. I want to continue with that again, just to show you a few more materials that might be of interest. So I'm going to go down through miscellaneous. Oops, sorry, no I'm not. Okay, dead leaves. So I can be placing them in my project. The point that I'm trying to make is you see that they are not all the same. Take my option here and I can, a little hard to see, I can move that over here onto my project. So I've got some dead leaves on the ground and I've got some shadow from here. And let's say I want that to be autumn. Okay, next thing I want to show is, if I go back up here and to the very top of my tree again, characters. So you might be used to the idea that you can select, this would be like an entourage, but it's kind of entourage on steroids, because each character that I place will have a different script as to what that character is actually doing. So you see when I place them in here, I'm getting different animated scripts for what they're doing in my project. Let me Control Z back to get rid of those. And what I want to show is I could also do groups of people. So for example, a group of people, if I just drag it on here and place it, I think I placed two groups, but then I'm getting a bunch of people not social distancing. So let me do Control Z and get back to here. What I want you to remember though is that with these, let's say I go over to my balcony here. Let me say I take the cat. It's, for example, is it they've all got different scripts. So each one of these, the cat is doing something different. Actually, yeah, they are. Okay, Control Z, Z, Z to get back. Let's put a goat and goldfish, horse. Put the horse down here. Okay, so animated characters that can be in the project. Let me stop there. I'll save as Farnsworth 2.